Every single one of us has an unconscious wound, and every single one of us has a superpower that corresponds to that wound. In this session, I'll be explaining to you your superconscious superpower. I want you to know you're not broken. In fact, you're so far from not being broken. The way that you're wounded or feel that you're broken actually holds your superpower. And this is a very important thing to understand, is every single one of us has an unconscious wound, and every single one of us has a superpower that corresponds to that wound. So as you know, there are two structures that you can live in, the creative structure or the problem-oriented structure. Now, each problem orientation is built on a wound. However, each wound holds a superpower. Most of us haven't integrated this shadow, this wound to receive our superpower. Most of us are just living out a very small fraction of what our superpower is. So there's 9 orientations, 9 wounds, and 9 superpowers. So let's go through those so that you truly understand. So the first wound is this idea that a person is not perfect. They believe that they're inherently flawed, defective, and they must strive for perfection. They have a belief that they must be good and right to gain approval. So they're very critical, and they always want to be good. Okay, so a lot of times in life they get themselves stuck around that, but they have a superpower. The superpower is that they have an intuitive vision of moral order and excellence. It's incredible. Their ability to see what's excellent and perfect and beautiful, and they have this grasp of how something could be excellent, and they have very high standards, including a moral compass and justice detector that enables them to detect even the smallest injustice or when someone is out of integrity. They strive and create excellence, which is a fantastic superpower. The second wound is this wound or idea that we're not worthy. The unconscious wound is that they're not lovable the way they are, and they must be needed and helpful. So they try to become very indispensable and loved and valued. The core belief is that they must meet the needs of others to earn love and validation. So a people pleaser is born, and they're always trying to help others, and they lose themselves. However, on the other side of that, a superpower is they have this empathetic, intuitive awareness of others' needs. They have this antennae for knowing what other people need and what they desire, and they have insights into other people's feelings, and they harmonize relationships. You see, so on the other side of their wound is this amazing superpower, which is just incredible to me. Okay, the next wound is this idea that a person believes they're not enough, right? And they believe they're worthless or unimportant unless they are successful in the eyes of others. They want to be admirable and successful to others. So the core belief is that they must achieve a lot to be successful and worthy of love. And a lot of them are chasing praise a lot of time. Okay, but they have a superpower, which is an intuitive grasp of success. They can map out how to be successful. They can present themselves that allows others to see them, see their best qualities, and they understand market trends. So again, on one side, a dysfunctional shadow, on the other side, a huge superpower. The fourth wound is this idea that they don't belong, okay? They have this wound about that they've lost a love, they feel like they don't belong, and that they're completely different from others, right? They feel like they have this unique insignificance but significant isolated feeling, and the core belief is they must express their uniqueness and individuality because they're so scared of not belonging that they nearly reject themselves and become so unique and creative because no one can reject something that's uncomparable to anything else. So that's the wound. Now, on the other side of that, their superpower is they have this creative expression, right? They're so creative and they're able to express their individuality. They have deep emotional depth, and it's incredible, really, because these are the ones that actually make life, so fun for the rest of us and so enjoyable with their music and art and poetry. So very, very, very creative. The fifth wound is this idea that a person's not capable. So this is belief that they lack resources and they must conserve their energy and focus on one area. Okay, the core belief is they must possess knowledge. They never feel like they have enough knowledge. They're not capable, so they've got to go find more knowledge, okay? And so they're getting very focused on a certain knowledge. And so they have an intuitive comprehension of knowledge, right? Their superpower is knowledge synthesis, right? This person on one side locks himself away and just works. But on the other side, they grasp big ideas and they have expertise and this intuitive understanding of big ideas, especially in niche topics. Amazing superpowers. You see a lot of professors have this. The 6 is this idea that a person believes they're not safe. The wound is that they're without guidance or support, that they need an authority. They always believe they need to seek security or authority to feel safe and protected. Now, this is an amazing, intuition. Because if I'm ever going to invest money, I want to invest someone who has this wound, because they have an intuitive idea of threat detection, risk assessment, and loyalty intuition. They basically know who to trust, right? They have an uncanny ability to sense threats, challenges, and what's going to go wrong. And so they're able to assess risk, and it's an amazing superpower that they know what can go wrong before the rest of us. The 7th is this unconscious wound of not being allowed to be sad or negative. And so this is a person who's always appears very bubbly, but deep underneath them, they're very, very sad. You'll see a lot of comedians are like this. And so they're not allowed to be in pain at all. And they must escape any discomfort, any boredom. And so the core belief is they must seek pleasure at all times. Like, pain is not allowed. They cannot go through anything uncomfortable. And so what happens is they bounce around from idea to idea, relationship to relationship to relationship, and they never stay in one place because it's uncomfortable and painful. And so they're always chasing the next hit, the next happiness. And so what's interesting is that's the wound, is not allowed to be sad and just have a normal life. They're not allowed that. They must go for extravagant and big and these things. Instead, what they have is they have this intuitive ability and creative vision to explore possibilities. They're able to spot opportunities and possibilities. They are the inventors of our world, adventurers. They will go on big endeavors, and they're always exciting and creating new plans, right? They can intuitively see how to turn a vision into reality, and they have an intuitive knack for knowing how things need to go and to plan. It's incredible. And they come up with more and more and more ideas and can invent ideas. They can have an idea a minute. The next is the wound that someone feels they're powerless. So the unconscious wound is that they feel powerless, and they're actually vulnerable, and that they must be strong to protect themselves. They must align with strength. The core belief is they must be powerful and in charge and in control. So they're always looking to be in control. They want to be the boss. They want to be in charge. They can be very aggressive. They can be very focused on being in control and never being weak and vulnerable. And so they have an intuitive mastery of control, actually. They understand power dynamics, influence, and protection instinct, how to protect others. They're very, very intuitive in power dynamics. They know how to be seen as the most powerful. They know how to guide others, and they know how to take on big challenges. Where other people, a big challenge is not exciting, this person has an intuition that says, I know how to take that on. Give me the biggest challenge. I want to control it. I want to lead it. I want to be in charge. And so they have this intuitive grasp and mastery of control. And so the last one is this unconscious wound that they're a nobody. Right? They believe that disconnected from others, and that the only thing they should have in life is peace. They just want to go for peace and comfort. They feel like they're nobody special. Who am I? I'm nobody. I just want everyone to be happy and get along. And so they don't really have goals or choices in life. Instead, they're just trying to make sure everyone else is happy. And, they end up getting dashed by the rocks of life a lot of times, because if you set sail with no clear destination, wherever the wind takes you is where they get taken. And so this person has a lot of trouble with being a nobody and just trying to make sure that they have peace and look after everyone. But they actually have a really big superpower. And the superpower is creation of harmony. This 9th wound, because they feel like a nobody, they can actually jump into any of the other 8 wounds and 8 superpowers. They're able to mediate and get conflict resolution and peaceful cooperation. So these are the 9 wounds, orientations, and superpowers. And so what I want you to get from this is that the way that we've been told we need to fix ourselves is actually not true. It actually is the doorway into who we're supposed to be. And most of us, unfortunately, are just sort of getting a glimpse of this. It's like we're by a tiny little candlelight flame of our true soul's purpose, when there's this raging inferno ready to be there. And that's why I call it that we're living out of a shadow. Because instead of living with the truth, we're just seeing the shadow, the flickers of life on like the cave wall, rather than being in life what we want. Because if you look at all of those 9 ways, the person's kind of being who they're supposed to be, but not fully. When I made this change and completely integrated my shadow is when I fully allowed myself to to step into what I wanted to achieve and what I wanted to do, and was able to shine in my place. And so I want you to get that, is the way that you think you're broken holds your superpower. See you on the next session.